Hey, so what is going on, everyone? It's me, MrMario.
And oh my god, am I even Dopesoner anymore?
No,
Hold
you're
on.
not. You are not.
All right, and Daniel from ModChat.
And
Wait, that's not even right.
no,
Either.
it's not. We got to keep it in there. You're from ModBot, right?
Yeah, I'm from
Okay,
ModBot.
okay. Right here we have Daniel, the artist formerly known as Dopesoner or Dopesoner 930, is now ModBot. And for anybody listening to this on YouTube, so Daniel, we're on your channel now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We are on my channel and not your channel.
Yeah, quick TLDR is bullshit's going on right now, so I can't upload this to my channel at the moment, but that's why we're going to be doing this anyway. So months ago, we were planning to either do dual uploads or kind of put stuff on Daniel's channel, and then it just kind of fell through. But now at this point, it's like, okay, ModChat temporary home is going to be on here, and then probably once I'm able to put it back on my channel, we're just going to upload on both, just letting everyone know of that.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So for now, it's for now it's on my channel for at least this episode and probably at least next, I would say, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Maybe we'll see. But point is, if you're listening, you know, from Daniel's channel, welcome. If you're listening from people who came over from my channel and are over here, welcome again. This is ModChat, our monthly podcast where essentially Daniel and I started off in the YouTube community here and got our rankings and all that stuff as modders from the Xbox 360 scene, and then we branched off onto other stuff. But because of the drought with it all, we decided to kind of talk about this, you know, monthly podcast where we either talk about whatever the hell we want to with the current scene, or we reminisce about other things, or have, you know, rambly discussions. Does that sound about right?
I think you nailed it.
Oh, okay, great. I like doing that. So, Daniel, what are we talking about this month?
Well, this month we are talking about repairs, I believe, right? Is that correct?
Repairs, troubleshooting, and all that stuff. And we're on episode 18 now, aren't we?
Big 1-8.
Yeah, 1-8. So that we've been doing this for like a year and a half now. So I guess golf clap to that so far.
Pat on the back.
Pat on the back, yeah.
virtual high five sending your way.
Love you too, man. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, Daniel has a bit of an issue in his room that I said that we should talk about on ModChat.
Okay, well, for those of you that have watched my live stream, you know about this. But for those of you that didn't watch my live stream, basically, there's been a rat living above my room for the past, I want to say, like, it's probably going on 2 months now. And this is no ordinary rat. This rat is super smart and fucking huge. Based off the sounds I'm hearing, it sounds like there's like a toddler above my bedroom just like stomping. So, I mean, I don't even know.
You said a toddler.
Yeah, I don't even know like whether it truly is a rat. Like there could be like a fucking like monster living up there, but you know, just reasonable, you know, like logic leads me to believe that there's probably a massive rat up there. And basically what happened was about a month and a half ago to 2 months ago, I was laying here in my room with my girlfriend watching a TV show, and I heard scratching, and I thought it was the cat. And I was you know, didn't think anything of it. I was like, stupid cat being stupid. And then I heard some more scratching. I'm like, what the fuck? So I paused the show, and then I heard the scratching again, and I was like, wait a minute. That shit's coming from directly above my head. And
oh, damn, you kind of cut out there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, okay, just go ahead. Directly coming from your head. That's the last thing I heard.
Okay, rat above my head. And so basically, I went out, bought rat traps, went up there, threw down, there's like 4 or 5 rat traps up there. And then I heard absolutely nothing for a few days. And I was like, okay, cool, maybe I caught the son of a bitch or something like that. And so I went up there to check the traps. Sure thing, there's nothing there. And the trippiest thing is that this rat will be gone for like, or maybe not gone, but like you won't hear anything for like now, like before hearing him right now, it was since my last live stream. So we're talking like a week and a half ago. And then just like that, fucker's back, man. And like, I don't know, the other day I was actually like, I don't know, it was probably a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I was laying in bed and I heard scratching, and it was like violent fucking scratching, man. And I got out of my bed to like walk into the restroom because that's where I heard it coming from. And I see my dad like standing on the side of the bathtub with his ear to the ceiling, and he's like pissed off, and he gets like the flat palm of his hand and just starts beating the shit out of the ceiling in the bathroom, like trying to scare the rat or something, man. But Dude, this rat is fucking vicious. That's all I gotta say. And so, yeah, it's not just me living here anymore with my dogs and cats, dude. We've got a fucking pet rat that, you know, he's here. He's here to stay, I think.
See, the way we even got onto this was right before the show. Like, Daniel and I are talking, and then all of a sudden I just hear him say, he's like, "Oh, God damn it, the rat's back!"
Yeah, I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden I just hear, like, just nails to wood. I mean, just scratch. No,
but didn't you just, like, see it above your, like, area?
Oh, I can't see him.
Oh, I thought you saw him.
I've never visibly seen him. Like, he's a fucking ghost rat, man. Like, I've never seen the son of a bitch. He doesn't seem to touch the traps, but it's got to be a rat. Like, either a rat or, like, a fucking cat is in my attic.
It could be a squirrel or something. I've seen them, like, crawl on everything.
Yeah, you could be right, dude. But I just know that whatever it is, the sound it's making, it's definitely big. It's like, it's a good sized something. And the fucker is really so...
The fucker's what?
He's resilient as all hell, and he does not like peanut butter.
Oh, God. Okay.
So I don't know, man.
So anyways, now for anybody complaining, why the hell are we talking on ModChat about rats? Well, that was completely my fault. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the topic.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
You go ahead and enter in with this.
Okay, well, first off, you know, we had kind of talked about this in our previous episode. That was kind of, you know, about bricking experiences and all that stuff. And then we were going to be talking about, you know, bricks, and not the Gucci Mane type bricks, but, you know, like bricking of hardware and all that stuff. And then we were going to be getting into repairs and troubleshooting steps that we normally take, or just the thought process that goes through. And the first topic took quite a while on the last one, so we wanted to just kind of extend over here. But normally I myself, I mean, there's been times I will either have something that breaks on me, or I will go out and buy a broken device or whatever it is. And I guess I could say the first thing I do, which a lot of people, it sounds so basic, but it's just, first off, Google the model of whatever you are messing with or talking about, and try and see what other people have had issues with, because you might be surprised. It might just be a common sense thing where you might just have to restart it, do it in a certain other mode of some kind, like, I don't know if it's like an iPhone putting it in DFU mode or anything. The reason why I say that is because what a lot of people do is, Daniel, I think you might have had this, but you might have people just contact you, or people contact me, or just ask and be like, "Hey, I just got this thing, it's broken, what do I do?" It's like, dude, I don't know. Did you even try and look it up, or did you come directly to me where I have literally no knowledge of that device?
Yeah, well, I definitely get a lot of people that ask me, and the thing is too, sometimes people ask me about things that I've done, but I might have only done them once or twice, and it might have been years ago. So usually, I mean, it's at the point now where when I get comments like that, and I feel like people have done no prior research, like if someone gives me a backstory, like, "Hey, so I got this, and I did this, and this is with this," then I kind of feel like a little bit more, you know, like it's more acceptable, and like, I'm like, okay, you know, I can try to help this person out. But if it's just like, you know, this is broken, how do I do this? I'm like, fuck. Because like, one, the thing is, again, although I have like repaired a lot of Xbox 360s, it's been long enough now to where if I were to get one, it would take me some like research on my own and like looking back on my old videos. So it's like, I don't do all the things that I repair and work on every single day, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's definitely like, I think we've like ranted on this before, but it's definitely frustrating when people just like expect us to be their Google, if you will, and like just, you know, I don't know what they're looking for, like, you know, like us just, you know, oh, all you got to do is da 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 da. Like I don't know, man. Like, I just, people got a lot of nerve.
I mean, the last, before we switch over and like I'll let you share something, the last thing I'll say on this is my logic is you literally have motherfuckers that will, so like, post on, not even just like with us, but like might post on a forum, for example, and some that's just like completely out there, completely unrelated, and they probably won't even get a response, but they might wait 27 hours for a response, and they might not be what they're looking for, or it might not answer what they need to do at all. So they would rather wait indefinitely for a response because it's easier over going to Google and finding the answer within about 2 or 3 minutes.
I don't even really think it's easier, man. I think it's like just ignorance in a sense.
Possibly, I don't know, but there's been even one person recently I'd run into. They're just like, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm old school and I'd rather ask my questions," and I'm like, how? No, because you're not going to get as good of advice here. You would get much more data if you just went on to Google and you spent a lot less time doing it.
Well, the thing is too, like when you Google a certain phrase or topic or whatever, you get a bunch of different sources. When you're just typing in a forum, you're limiting yourself to the knowledge of whoever's going to decide to potentially respond back, and who knows even the validity of their knowledge. You know, not everyone. You know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, because it's like just because I mean you're in a forum and you respond back to someone. I've seen people in forums respond with answers that are bullshit or things that are not even right. So I feel way more comfortable Googling it and seeing what other people have done to overcome their topics, and also see if there's multiple covering the same thing and they all point to the same direction. Chances are you're in the clear to follow that step or follow that procedure.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I know that's not the case with a lot of people, and I don't know. I don't know if like a lot of these people that just do the whole forum typing thing are like younger, you know, and so maybe they don't know, or
no. I've seen many adults do that are older than you and I.
Huh. Okay. Well, then it beats me really, man. Like the thing is, I can understand too that theory of like if you don't know something, ask. Like I personally, you know, like when it comes to working and stuff like that, certain things I don't know, I'll try to take on my own hands. But there's other things I'm like, okay, I'll ask someone because these people are more knowledgeable, so I can get that. But I still feel like you should always do your homework, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's my biggest thing is just do some homework at least. Dude, how hard is it to type like one sentence phrase, click and read a couple lines, man? Like that's if you can't do that, then you probably shouldn't be fixing whatever it is you're trying to fix.
Exactly. Even like at work, you know, what I do there when I have to, because I work with a software suite and everything and just, you know, like installing for customers and such. But what we normally do is like, for example, if there's, because when I first started working there, I didn't know shit. So like I was asking everyone else. That was a little bit different because, you know, that is our job. So it's like we all need to succeed. We all know how to do this stuff. But now I've gotten experienced enough to the point where I could do most things on my own. If I run into some sort of glitch or issue, if I try and exhaust my own attempts at it, you know, then I'll look into I'll look into our knowledge base that we have, because it's an internal software. I really can't Google, so the knowledge base kind of serves as our Google. We also have some other even more internal documents that I look into, and then finally, if that stuff's not working, then I'm going to ask coworkers. If they don't know, then we might have to recruit other people in support and all that. Granted, it's going to be a lot more tight-knit due to the fact that this is our job and our end goal is we have to succeed with this. It's not like a just a fun thing we're doing on the side, but you know, the same type of troubleshooting stuff applies there.
Oh yeah, fixing or troubleshooting or doing anything in general, I mean, it doesn't matter really what it is, but the process of solving it, you typically take similar steps across the board, or you know, you should really.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, regardless of whether you're modding or whether you're trying to learn how to fucking make a kick-ass casserole, like, you know,
exactly. Follow steps if you can, man.
Yeah, Google it, dude, and then look at feedback to see, you know, what other people are saying, whether it turned out right or whether this isn't right, or whether you've got other steps or opinions and stuff like that. And I mean, I honestly enjoy kind of like running with scissors, if you will. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is like, if I get something like, okay, granted, if I were to pick up like a piece of hardware that's like, this thing is like a $10,000 piece of hardware, and like, it's a little different story, but I'm saying with like most electronics, man, like even if I might fuck it up, like I like to do it my own way. It's like a certain sense of accomplishment when you're like, man, I did this with like minimal help from anyone else. And like that, honestly, like that comes with practice, I guess. But again, like, the more research you do, like you can figure it out. And then you've got really no excuse, because for most, at least game consoles and like laptops and stuff like that, you've got sources like iFixit with literally like HD fucking step-by-step pictures on how to take everything apart.
Okay, yeah, no, I was gonna say, iFixit, sometimes their recommended repair methods could be a bit iffy, and sometimes I don't trust them depending on what it is, but no, their teardown guides are quite excellent.
Yeah, at least they've got certain readily available tools that are beneficial. And like I'm not saying like how you just said that, I'm not saying that they're perfect, but I'm saying at least you can look there and like get a starting point idea, and then, you know, do some other research and compare whether other people are saying, you know, what they're doing is correct, or whether there's other methods that are safer and more foolproof.
Of course.
But I mean, I've definitely used iFixit for a couple of things in the past, especially with like laptops, and most of the laptop stuff was more just teardown guides, basically, like you were saying.
Of course.
So it's just kind of convenient having the whole database of pictures in one place that you can pretty readily rely on for the most part.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's completely invaluable what you have there.
Yeah. And also, I mean, with troubleshooting, one of the first things I do if I'm not being antsy and doing something stupid and breaking stuff, one of the first things I do, honestly, is go to YouTube, man. And I don't go to YouTube to comment on someone's video asking them how to help me. I go to YouTube to type in my thing, hoping that there's like 4 to 5 to 6 to 10 to 20 fucking videos already covering that topic, where I watch every single one until I find 1 or 2 that's in decent quality that covers my shit, and move on from there. That way I have a visual and some text or, audio to go along with. And then if I still like am a little unsure, I can take what I've learned from the YouTube video and do some Googling to like match it up with that. But honestly, like YouTube is such a fucking tool. Like I get that it's an entertainment platform and that, people have their different reasons for watching, whether they want to laugh, whether they want to cry, whether they want to just learn shit. But it is such a tool, and in my opinion, for just such a huge variety of things. Like the amount of shit I've learned off YouTube is absolutely is insane. Like more on YouTube than probably anywhere else in this world.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that's like that, and Google, like just your number one, sources. But I mean, before I will say though, again, like if you don't, there's certain things like when it came to the Red Ring of Death, when I first was fixing that was back when like every single YouTube video, dude, was like fucking towel trick, was like, like the cotton swab, like it was all of that shit, and like everyone was just accepting that, and like those videos didn't have a shitload of dislikes. Like most people were saying like, oh, it worked, or like, worked for a little while. So, back then, like I didn't have any reason to actually believe otherwise. And if you did dig deeper though, like in forums or videos, stuff like that, you could see like that there was, people that were still using some kind of rigged like rework station of some sort. But the thing is, I think that the other videos gained so much popularity because the average 14 or 15-year-old trying to repair their shit, they were able to relate more to a towel than what the fuck a hot air rework station was.
Exactly. Yeah, no. And then the thing that killed me with that whole scene right there was then you try and debate it and tell people how it was wrong. And it's like, oh, I did it to my Xbox 2 years ago and it works. It's like, stop. Because it works does not mean it is properly done. You have a fluke of a console. They're like, oh, well, I did it on 5 consoles. Stop it. No.
Yeah. Just because it works. I mean, again, my thing is this, dude. If like someone bought a console off of fucking Craigslist for like $30, $40, $50 back in the day, and it red ringed, and they didn't have the money to send it out for a proper repair, and they didn't really give a shit, like, by all means, man, if you want to do some rinky-dink trick, like, go for it. But as long as you know in your head that, like, it is a rinky-dink trick, and whether you get 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, 6 months, a year, like, you're basically you're fucking like on a what is it, like a plank. You're walking the plank essentially. Eventually, it's gonna fall off, And so, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with ghetto rigging stuff, because I'm a huge fan of ghetto rigging stuff, even though I don't recommend, again, doing a towel train like that. But I do all sorts of like kind of half-ass things in general when it comes to like just things that need done like right away. But in my head, I know like, hey, eventually I'm gonna have to do this the right way. But for right now, I don't have time. So it's basically picking and choosing like, hey, how important is this? If I do this way, am I gonna damage things correctly?
Yeah. So it sounded like something dropped. I wasn't sure.
Oh, was it this?
Yes, I think
so.
Oh,
it was my...
Okay.
What if it was like the rat just fucking cannonballing the ceiling?
I was kind of hoping it would be the rat because I just wanted to capture that.
Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna get my brother's gun and just start shooting at the ceiling when I hear him next.
Danny, you're bringing down the property value.
But as long as I got the rat, it'd be worth it.
Okay, I guess that's true. Yeah.
So.
But yeah, no, then even when, I guess for me, when it really comes to troubleshooting steps and all that, because most of my day-to-day activities do involve troubleshooting and everything, first off, it's more like just making sure that the common sense things have been covered, and you get a lot more practical with it, because I know a lot of people might be wondering, okay, where the hell do we go with that? How do you even start? It's like, well, dude, a lot of this stuff you kind of just have to pick up later on after so much experience with it, but mostly kind of when it starts off for me is like, okay, is everything as it's supposed to be? Is the is the diagram that I'm working with matching? Is this text string proper on there? Because a lot of times it might just be like you're convincing yourself like, yes, everything here is done properly, 100%, we're good to go on this, I don't understand it. And then sometimes either just taking a break or having a second pair of eyes come over, being all like, yeah, that's wrong, that's supposed to be an 80, not a 90. And it could just be something so basic like that. But then even for more advanced troubleshooting, I mean, admittedly, because I'm not trying to say don't ever ask for help, but I've had to do it. Like even recently, like on different forums, you know, I will go on there, kind of plead my case and be like, yeah, this is what I've done, this is what I've looked into so far, I believe this is okay, but I'm not really sure what is going on with this. And I've been able to revive quite a few things using those methods, just finding, you know, a proper dependable form, but also, you know, as I said, properly pleading my case as a showing I've exhausted my knowledge and my efforts, and I'm not really having any luck finding, you know, proper information on this.
Well, the thing is, like, most people, not all, but most people, if they're on a forum and they're reading your thing, like, they're not, okay, some of them are there to be assholes, but, you know, not all of them are there to be assholes. Like, a lot of them are just genuine people that have an interest in whatever it is that you're doing and don't mind, you know, sharing their knowledge to younger people or just less knowledgeable people. And by doing that, you just, like, you show that you're not a lazy piece of shit and that you're not asking to be spoon-fed. You know, and that really goes a long way. Like, I mean, I had someone, again, like, I'm terrible. Like with videos that come out, I try my best to respond to like my new videos, but like ones that are really old, dude, like I can't get around it anymore. I really can't. But I had one person hit me up on a video that was like over a year old, and they took the time to like get my actual email and email me like 3 or 4 paragraphs, like just saying, like, you know, again, basically what you described, like what they've done, this is what's going on. I then tried this and then this, you know, and then at the bottom, like, if you've got any pointers or can kind of like, you know, push me in the right direction, I'd greatly appreciate it. If not, thank you for your time reading. And when I read that, I was like, dude, this is a fucking like genuine human being right now. And they took the time to go through all of this and type out this beautiful, you know, here's what I've done, can you help me thing. So I did respond back. I basically ended up telling him in the end that I honestly didn't have the answer, but at least I took the time to basically respond back. And I wouldn't have if, again, it hadn't been me seeing like, hey, this is a person that's done their homework and they just want some help or some pointers. So I felt like the least I can do as a person was take 30 seconds out of my fucking day to respond back and at least say, you know, hey, I don't really know, but maybe you can try this or check here. This person knows more than me, and, you know, best of luck type thing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll say like one example I could kind of think of that kind of combines like past knowledge with even like new stuff that I was learning was there was a PS1 recently that I had picked up that just did not display. No, it didn't power on. That was it. So what ended up happening was I had fixed this before. Now, I had fixed this on a Sega Genesis where, again, I picked it up. It had no power. I ended up looking up Sega Genesis Model 1 no power, found out that it could have been a fix online that just involved flipping the board over and resoldering, reflowing, you know, the solder and everything on the bottom of the power connector. Did that, it worked properly. So when I bought this PS1, I was like, okay, let me do that same thing. Ended up doing that. Didn't work, and then I started using my multimeter, checking different points. That wasn't working either. Tried reflowing this thing like 4 or 5 times, like the points on there, and I just could not get it working. So what happened was I was still looking up, you know, PS1 no power, and some people were saying, well, have you tried, you know, a different power supply? Have you tried a different outlet? Even tried a different power supply, because people were considering that, thinking maybe it was a faulty one. That wasn't the issue either. But then I remember I'd had to come back to this like 3 or 4 times. Near the end, though, what happened was when I had posted online, some people were saying, well, hey, check your capacitors. Now, PS1 has extremely different capacitors, resistors, all that stuff, so I didn't even know what to look for, admittedly. But then that kind of narrowed my search down a little bit. So I started looking online. It was PS1 no power capacitors. It was something like that. And I ended up finding a forum where there was a person who had my exact same issue, but he actually ended up having photos as well too. And what happened was, I think it was the resistors, that was it. No, he ended up jumping all the resistors, which is not something you should do, because he pretty much bypassed every single type of fault thing right there. Point is, he ended up getting that working, and then I looked, I was like, that guy had about the same issue I had, let me check, and then I was able to solve it that way. So did it take time? Yes, I had to pull in a few resources, but point is, now I actually know that from experience. So I was trying to, you know, use some past things, and I told you how I got to that point, and it wasn't working, and then I just needed someone to really narrow my search down a bit.
Yeah, well, but again, you did a lot of your homework, man.
Oh yeah,
you did like what you described is exactly the steps I take or would take in a similar situation where probably would have done the exact same thing, where basically check certain things. As the process of elimination, you went ahead and again did what you didn't work on another one and fixed it. So you tried that first. Then again, always go to the multimeter to basically check for voltage shortages or drops or dead parts on the board. And once you found out, or someone gave you the suggestion of the capacitors or resistors, then you went ahead and just added that to your keyword search, which essentially narrows down your search even more to that, to that target specific repair, and then you were able to do so. So,
dude, I didn't even like the resistors. I didn't know what they looked like on the board or anything, admittedly, because it was completely different than the other systems I had worked with. And even then, on top of all that, because I was comparing, when I was using my what the hell was it called? Just my multimeter. When I was using that, like I was using it on wrong points. Like I was using it on my power connector and everything and checking it there. And I was even comparing it to a working console I had. And I was like, what the hell? Everything here is showing the exact same. I don't see any breaking continuity between these two consoles. So again, it was just really, I was kind of doing the right things, but just at the wrong points, or just the points I wasn't checking. I should have been checking, but I didn't know that until I narrowed my search down a little bit, which resulted from, me asking for help, and someone was just like, hey, try this right here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, you did your stuff. So, I mean, people, like I said, are more willing to help someone that's done their homework. But my thing is this too, when it comes to repairs, is that like you honestly shouldn't really try repairing your shit unless you're a patient person and willing to like put in the homework. Like there's a lot of people I know out there that like if something breaks, they pay to have it fixed, or they say it's junk and throw it out. And like I don't think that's smart by any means. But if you're not going to be one of those, regular consumers that when something breaks, they do throw it out or do recycle it or do whatever the fuck they do, then like just know that repairing is not easy. Like, I mean, if you're a super knowledgeable person in a certain field, like let's say you're a retired plumber, obviously the toilet goes out, like that shit's gonna be easy to fix. But I'm saying for like hobbyists, like even if you like for me and MrMario, we've done a lot of Xbox repairs, and like I've repaired other things too. And like the stuff I've learned from Xbox stuff has been like carried over to other things, and like just the way I handle situations and certain skills I've learned carry over. But still, like if it's not something that I've done quite a few times, it's gonna still take me time. And like even if I've done similar stuff, and even if I can now solder, I can now basically pinpoint where like a capacitor is going bad or is expanding or whatever, it's still like it takes time. Like, would you say that anything about new repair processes is a quick process, dude? It's not.
No, I mean, of course there's been quick fixes where, like, I get in, I'm able to fix something, it's like, oh, yeah, this is good to go, but there's also multiple other times where, yeah, you're right, it does take a good amount of time to do something, just, depending on the troubleshooting, the level of the repair, and that's the thing, like, the worst part is really isolating it and seeing what the hell the issue is. That's what takes the time, because most of the time, the issue itself, it doesn't take too long to remedy, it's more the adventure to finding it.
Yeah, the whole process of it's more the process of just elimination, man. And like, I mean, again, for example, I brought up before is like with my 3D printer, dude, it was on and off troubleshooting, dude, for like fucking 6 months. Like not 6 months straight. Like I troubleshooted hard for like a couple weeks and then put it off to the side for a month or two, then came back to it. But obviously, like people probably don't want to take 6 months to repair something. But I'm just saying, like that took a hell of a long time for me. It really did. And like I almost did give up and throw in the towel and just sell it or throw it out or scrap the parts I could get from it or whatever. But I ended up, again, just doing a lot of homework and, drawing a conclusion and just going balls deep and just doing it, man. So,
yeah, because,
but
I myself, I don't like having broken hardware just sitting around.
Yeah, I don't. No, I don't either. I don't have the space for broken hardware.
Yeah, technically I do have a 360 sitting as a doorstop, but point being,
I mean, that's a good-looking door. It's not, dude, if you're using it for a doorstop, it's got a purpose, bro.
That is true, except actually not really, because it's kind of hiding to the side of my couch because I'm not using it for a doorstop at the moment, so I don't know what the hell it's there for.
Oh, well,
yeah. And it's broken. I actually tried it recently. It broke after 5 minutes.
Jesus.
Yeah, gotta love Xenons, man.
Oh, yeah. I have 2 of them still. My only 2 Xbox 360s are Xenons.
Yeah, except I'm sure yours work. This one was just like, nope, after 5 minutes it gave up. I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. I was going to try and play around with it, but that's cool. I'll just put it back together and it will be the doorstop again.
Is it stock or no?
I think I flashed a drive on it and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to try and experiment with it a bit more. I was going to try like an RGH 1.2 on it for Xenon, but now that the system's broken, I can't do that shit.
Yeah. Honestly, like Xenons are worth like an ass, you know. Yeah, there's like no.
Yeah, if someone's just like, yeah, I want to get a Xenon, like, just don't.
If someone says they want to get a Xenon, dude, I freaking get the baby powder, put it on my left hand, and smack them in the face and say, "You don't want that shit."
But that would feel nice, wouldn't it? Because it'd be like all nice and cool.
Yeah, maybe, but then they'd still have baby powder over the face.
I guess so, but at least it smells nice.
It does smell really nice.
So there is that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, man. In terms of repairs, like I haven't done much repairing stuff lately. It's been mostly building and upgrading, and most of the stuff, like the really cool thing is with all my 3D printer stuff is that because they're like kits and I'm building them from the ground up, if something goes wrong, like I can replace every 1,000 pieces that I went into building the thing. So doing background, like just having like knowledge in the freaking subject helps out so much. But there's certain things that I won't even try to repair anymore. Like when it came to doing the whole reflow stuff, I stopped doing PS3s. I did a couple PS3s, but I fucking hated them, dude. I hated opening them. I hated reflowing them. I do not like PS3s. And so again, like, what does that sound?
I don't like PS3s either.
Oh, dude, they're like fucking tanks, bro. Like even just getting inside of them's a bitch, and then
repairing them's a bitch too.
Everything about them just a bitch, dude. Like I like PS3s. Don't get me wrong. Like I genuinely like PS3s as a console, but what I'm getting at is like there's times where you legit like probably shouldn't repair it. Just cut your losses and fucking sell it or scrap it. Like you've got to know when to throw in the towel on, because there's things that like I've never been able to fix. Like there's certain consoles or devices that have just been like fucked to the point where I'm like, okay, this is just too little, too late. But also when it comes to repairing stuff, like again, it's one thing if like, okay, my clock is broken, I'm gonna try to fix it, and if it doesn't fix, I'm gonna throw it out and buy a new clock. But like if there's other things where like you're interested in something and you try to fix it, it's like, dude, just like try again, man. That's like my biggest thing with repairs is like get away from it for a while. And also like if you're just stumped on something, like just I don't know if it's you I talked about this or Johnny a long time ago, but like literally put that shit to the side, go fucking watch a movie, go to sleep, go to work the next day, go to school, hang out with your girlfriend, your friends, come back to that shit with a fresh pair of fucking opticals, because there's a lot of times where like the answer is literally staring you right in the face, and you just can't see it because you've got such like tunnel vision going on from just staring at the damn thing or trying to figure it out. And like there's been times where I've literally seen like, oh, I soldered the wire to the wrong fucking point, I'm an idiot, or like a setting in the software is just like checked wrong or something. Like there's a lot of times where the answer is like super easy and you will find it, or even like potentially getting a second opinion from like someone that might know a little more that like you actually know in person. Like that's always dope if you know someone that's knowledgeable that can like literally give you look at it for themselves.
But let's assume that that's not it, because I'm now like most of the time I'm the only like modder or repair person I know, depending on whatever it is.
Yeah, that's also true across the board for me too. But yeah, I'm talking more so like a general aspect than modding. But yeah, when it comes to our stuff, it's because the thing is like modding is definitely like not. Although there's a lot of people that follow it, I can't say it's mainstream, dude, by any sense.
No, I don't think so. Unless even like, well, with PC modding, even that's a whole different type of thing. I mean, that's a whole scene right there. But no, with the console stuff, not so much.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like at one point, Call of Duty lobbies was like becoming more of a fucking mainstream thing, or like is but modding as a whole is like a special group of people that isn't really. Like, I guarantee you walk down the street and talk to 10 people, maybe, I'm sure the age group obviously would have an effect on, like, whether they do know or what they know, but I guarantee you ask, like, 10 random people at a grocery store, and they're going to look at you like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, I've got my friends that are, like, into video games still look at me like, what are you talking about? So, it's like, it's deep. Like, we're, there's, like, I don't know. It's just like a not mainstream field. So, we're lucky that there is even forums, honestly, out there.
Admittedly, like when I was like really young, sometimes I would ask the people at GameStop about stuff.
Modding stuff?
Yeah, like I was just like, do you know about like this homebrew scene? They're like, wait, what are you talking about? Like, oh, well, I thought you might have known. I don't know.
Did you think that they didn't know, or do you think they just didn't want to talk about it because they worked at GameStop?
No. They just genuinely did not know. Like, they were surprised. They're like, what the hell is that? Like, they legitimately didn't know. I've talked to like one person at a GameStop that knew, but aside from that, most of the time, they did not know.
Huh. Got you. Yeah, I wasn't sure if like they were just tripping out
Then again, I was like that like 12-year-old that was asking about that, so probably not the best idea to ask that at a GameStop, because I mean they don't need to know that. That's not something that's needed, in their internal inventory of knowledge. Exactly.
No, absolutely not, dude. Yeah. Online's the best place because I mean it connects everyone from various locations of the globe into a very easy to manipulate and maneuver platform essentially.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think even with no, I'm just kind of trying to think, with general troubleshooting steps I do, or just like other type of repair issues that I've had here and there. I mean, there's literally times where even just if it's something that's cheaper, normally there's like, okay, if I kind of foobar this, it's okay, but it's still disheartening even to do that. And then I'll say, okay, I learned from this time, but no, then sometimes I might not learn from that, admittedly. So you have to also make sure you actually apply what you are doing.
Yeah, I'm one to say, and I'll know like, okay, you've got to like go do this correctly, and then I'm like, I'll get upset when I foobar or something like you said, and it ends up not lasting long or doesn't work out. I'm like, I get pissed, and I'm like, well, you kind of knew this going into that, so like, who do you really have to blame but yourself,
Mm-hmm. That's actually why for me, I don't know if you've ever really messed with it, but like the PS1, for example, I love the system, but like it has been so touchy for me. Like I've killed more PS1s than I would like to admit.
Yeah, I remember we had to talk about that.
Yeah, actually. Yeah, because the very first thing that I actually tried to like solder for, a mod job and everything was a PS1, ended up killing that. And then for a while, I was really good for like years. I didn't break anything. Next thing I broke was a PS1 because like there's just like little tiny places that you have to hit with the soldering iron. And then, oh God, wait, the trace is messed up now. Awesome.
Yeah, I've only done like 1 or 2 PS1s, and luckily I haven't had issues with it. But I will say that I've had issues with things lately, like that GameCube that I live stream installed. Fuck that roach infested console, and then the PS2 that I was messing around with a while back. Like I've definitely had some issues, and like it was weird. I was just like striking out for a little while. And
hey, one big thing everyone can do: test your stuff, because Daniel, those two were kind of untested, weren't they?
Oh yeah. That was one thing afterwards. I was like, I never even really like gave it like a solid test run, And so on one of them, like when I was done installing it, I went and like plugged it all in and shit. And I can't remember what the issue was with one of them, but like it just things weren't showing up correctly. And I was like, fuck, like I don't even really know that it worked at all, because all I did was literally get home and do a power test. Like it wasn't even hooked up to a TV of any sort, so I don't know whether it was outputting or not.
Gotcha.
And so yeah. Oh, well, basically, yeah, if you don't test your stuff out beforehand, like that's such an amateur mistake that I made not even that long ago. But you should definitely plug your shit in and make sure that it works beforehand, because that can save you a hell of a lot of headache. Because the thing is, if you don't do that and you assume that it works and you install something and it doesn't work, then you assume you did a fucked up job. But what if you did a good job and like the thing just wasn't good to begin with?
Mm-hmm. I'd even recommend another thing when you're working on stuff, even if it's something that you're super experienced with it. Sometimes, if you're a little bit unsure or whatever, you don't want to be too cocky, just bring up the diagrams or whatever you're working with, because you can never be too sure unless it is something you could literally do in your sleep. But even there's times you can mess that up pretty easily too.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, I'm the type of person where I don't know if like I'm pretty paranoid, or I just kind of like lack like the confidence in certain things. But for me, dude, even with like JTAGs and installing the fucking NAND reading wires, like I had the colors memorized in my head. But honestly, like 8 out of 10 times I would bring them up just to reference them, dude, just to avoid potentially like me being in a rush and just, doing something stupid. I would still do it, dude, there's nothing wrong with double checking. And honestly, like how long does it take to bring up the guide or the PDF or whatever, the JPEG to fucking reference?
My logic with that as well too, it's kind of another time thing, because I've run into other people where like they screw up something. They're like, oh yeah, well I was in a rush and I didn't want to spend the extra few minutes. I'm like, so wait a minute, you're telling me you didn't want to spend the extra 2 minutes bringing up this thing or whatever, or trying this, but now you're going to have to buy a part to replace it and wait 2 weeks for it to come?
Yeah, where's the logic in that?
Exactly. I'm like, where the hell is the logic in that? What are you talking about? You can't use that as an excuse.
That's also another thing that I'll say is when you are troubleshooting stuff, make sure you've got a pretty solid window of time because testing my stuff beforehand. One of the main reasons I don't repair things correctly or do even break things to the point where they need repair is rushing, man. Honestly, like just either because like it's a new something that I'm like really hyped for and I'm just like gotta get it done, or I've got something I gotta do later on, or fuck, I gotta go to sleep soon, so let's knock this out real quick. Like if you're in a crunch for time, it's one thing if you're like, like, fuck, I gotta lace up all my shoes tonight. Like, no big deal. Like if you lace your shoes up wrong, then like, damn, you really were tired, or like you need to like, I don't know, figure your life out. But what I'm getting at is though, like, don't, especially if it's not something that you can do again, like you said, with your eyes closed, don't give yourself like a short window of time, because you're just kind of asking for something to go wrong at that point.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, dude. No, that's even now for anything that I work on. I make sure I set aside at least like 3 hours or something, where it's like, okay, I have the time to do this thing right here.
Yeah, and what I've learned too is that like everything, always takes longer than initially anticipated. So if I like look at a guide for something and think like, okay, I could probably do this in like 45 minutes, I'm like, all right, 2 hours, because like that gives you time to like get up, stretch your legs, drink some water, get something to eat, fuck up a little bit, or, realize that like, hey, this doesn't really make sense, or like this Chinese English is not fully clear if you're following a guide from from our friendly neighbors, but yeah, just give yourself a lot of time, man, because again, especially if it's a first timer type thing, but even if it's not, like, still rushing things, like rushing anything in general doesn't make it better,
Oh, absolutely.
It's just you're like, I don't know, like you won't solder as well, or like I don't know, like,
and
there's go for it.
I was gonna say there's also definitely a major difference between something not taking that much time and then allocating a good amount of time. What I mean by that is, I might have to explain it a bit, is more you might see that this type of task takes someone 5 minutes to do. That might be because it could be an easy task, or it could just be something that person has done quite a few times, so they are going to be able to get it done in probably a higher quality and also much faster fashion, just because they've done it so often. So if it takes you like 20 minutes or something to do, it's all good, man. Just don't try and rush it, because then you're going to run into even more fuck ups, and that will happen. And kind of, I guess the example I'm kind of thinking of here is, there was a comic a while ago I had seen where some company was wanting to hire a artist to do a mock-up logo of some kind, and then they end up doing this thing in 10 minutes, and the boss is just like, what the hell, like, this only took you 10 minutes to do, why did I pay you to do this? I could have just done it myself. And then the artist just says, well, it took me 10 minutes to do because I spent 10 years in school so I could do this in 10 minutes. So it's kind of one of those things. It's just like, dude, it's experience. It's like, yes, it's going to take all these other people a lot less effort and time because they've had more experience. You're not going to be as experienced with this, or you haven't worked this before because this is new territory. So just give yourself the time and slack.
It took my neighbor about 20 minutes to do his oil change. It took me about 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, again, he's been a mechanic before in his like past jobs and stuff like that. So he knows everything. Like, you can't compare yourself to people like that in that sense. I mean, even when I watch people doing things on YouTube, if they do them really quickly, again, yeah, you got to take that into consideration. And like, don't like, I hate when people get disheartened after watching my videos and like, oh, you're just so good, I can't do this and that. And I'm like, no, I've fucked up plenty of times to get to this point. Like, practice makes perfect with ending in life. It's all about repetition. And I guarantee you that, I mean, think about how many times like Einstein failed before he figured out the light bulb.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, man, like some of the greatest people, there's like a saying about that, man. Like, you've got to fail a certain amount of times before, I can't remember what the exact saying is, man, but failing is essentially the way to, are you looking it up?
No, I'm not. I was, okay, hey, it was Thomas Edison.
Was it really?
I'm sorry. I had to look that up. I just...
just leave it, man. Just leave it.
No, because I heard Einstein. I'm like, I don't think that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Edison is the light bulb. Oh my god. I don't care, man. Fuck it. Oh man. My science teacher would like just like punch me in the throat.
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait a minute. I don't think Einstein did that one.
What the fuck did he do then?
E equals MC squared. He did a bunch of other things as well too.
Mostly mathematician stuff?
Yeah, he was the mathematician.
Okay. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, wait, Edison was the one that basically flew the kite, right?
Wasn't that Ben Franklin?
I think it was. Dude. My knowledge of like past history and science is like absolute. Those are the classes I was sleeping through. I think it was Ben Franklin, bro.
Hold on, my computer's being slow right now because I'm doing this recording and all that. But yeah, no, Franklin's kite.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
Dude, I'm just like ultimate failure. Why do you guys even watch my channel? Like I don't know the basic fucking. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. I think I'm done, dude. Like I think I'm done with this podcast.
Okay, I think that's a good stopping point.
Jesus Christ, dude. It's the heat, bro. I'm blaming it on the fucking heat. Oh my god.
Okay, and I'm just saying, it's not like I've never said anything stupid. I mean, that's happened as well too. Everyone makes these mistakes, but I'm sorry. It's just the back-to-back thing was killing me there.
Yeah, no, dude. Like I'm on a roll right now. I'm on a fucking roll, dude.
And at this point, that is when you get to an exhaustive point in the podcast, you then step away and you hang out and watch a movie or go hang out with your girlfriend or do something. And then when you come back to it with fresh eyes in about, let's say, a month, it's like, oh, now I feel all refreshed.
Yeah, and plus you can let the whole YouTube community laugh at how much of a retard you are. I can't believe that shit, dude.
So I got my laughing out already.
Oh my god, I'm glad I was able to at least make you laugh, dude. I don't know, Einstein, like, I don't know, like, I think of him as the great, and so I'm like, yeah, light bulb, like, that makes sense. No, it's totally fucking Edison. That's why Edison and fucking electricity and all that shit.
I was just remembering the episode of Bob's Burgers where they did a whole reenactment of Edison, and I was like, I don't remember Einstein being there. So yeah,
Dude, I'm done.
Cartoons just reinforce things for me at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess, Daniel, where can they find this wonderful podcast if they're not listening to it on YouTube?
If you're not listening to it on YouTube, we have got Podbean, we have got Google Play, we have got the iTunes Store. What else do we have?
I think that's it.
Oh, I nailed it. Okay.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So we've got that. We've got a Facebook page that I'm really active on, so come hang out on there, and we'll chat.
He's lying.
Yeah, I'm not active at all, but MrMario is, and so you can talk to MrMario.
Kinda. I'm
more than me.
I guess so. I do my own Facebook page and all that, and I have my other social media. So I need more of an excuse to get on the ModChat Facebook page. But the point is, we have a Facebook page, man.
Yeah, we've got a Facebook page, so check that out. It'll be in the description. MrMario's channel will actually be in the description since it is on my channel this time, which is very weird to say.
I know.
But it's just strange, dude. Yeah. But yeah, it'll be on link to his channel. Check out his shit. Tons of awesome videos on all sorts of gaming stuff, modding stuff, and everything, all the above, and anything else related to your channel that I should mention.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Well, now I'm doing a bit more urban exploring stuff, which if you don't know what urban exploring is, check it out, and you can watch me, go into nasty, disgusting places with my camera.
Yeah, that sounds rad. So check him out, and sorry that I'm dumb, and I'm like choking. Yeah, and wish me luck with the rat. So
okay, yeah, pray for Daniel right here with the rat. Yeah, I was gonna say as well too, anybody who has because now I guess we get to directly deal with your audience here. If you all have any wonderful ideas for what we should cover, any of that good stuff, please drop them down below in the in the comment section on the video on YouTube, because that's what we're gonna check. By the way, for a lot of people saying they want like face cams and all that stuff, Daniel and I are talking about that. It works out because Daniel likes streaming. I'll be straight up, I don't like hosting streams. So I would totally be willing to be a guest on Daniel's stream for the sake of ModChat.
Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it, and we are going to do it.
Exactly. So yeah, it is coming. It's coming. It's just not now. Like, not this episode. Maybe next episode.
How much of a troll would it be, dude, if someone's suggestion for like the next mod chat was fucking our debate on our favorite inventor?
Oh, God damn it!
I was like,
now you're just dropping ideas.
I know. I just thought of it right now in my head, and I'm like, I'm gonna delete that person.
My favorite inventor is Gucci Mane for the Trap House.
Oh, Trap Lord. I'm here with Waka Flocka.
Yeah. Hey, Waka Flocka, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, dude, he's a wild boy, just like MGK.
He is.
All right, man, let's end this bitch.
Okay, yeah. Well, this is Thomas Edison signing off with the light bulb. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Fucking Ben Franklin with the wheat plow. And we're out.
It was a kite.
Peace.